Hi everybody, this is Delmar here, or Danielthetankengine, and welcome to my 4th annual Q&A video. I got a lot of questions from the video I posted back in November that I posted, and I'm here to answer them like I have the past 3 years. So without dilly-dallying, yes, go ahead and start answering the questions. I'll start with the two of the most common questions that I got. Two people ask, do you like Tugs? I do. I do love this show. I have not watched the series in a while, but I know that all 13 episodes are good. I think it's a fantastic series, and I'm also really happy that the original television series models are in very good hands of people who love the show and want to try to preserve it for future generations to see, and I'm just happy that it's still, the legacy of it is still going on, and I do love the all 13 episodes. I do. I don't talk about it a whole lot, but maybe someday in the future I might do a video about it because I do like it. I just don't know what video to really do about Tugs. But one of the most popular questions that I keep getting is, what's your opinion on the upcoming Thomas & Friends Big World Big Adventures, aka the movie season 22, because it's now technically season 22. It was originally just a spin-off, but now it's considered part of the main television series, and it's also one that a lot of people are very personal about. There are a few people that are like, okay, this might be alright, you know, nothing great, but nice little thing to change, and a lot of people are just hating it, but I'm just gonna wait until it's out and give my opinions. I am doing a Delmar Show episode on the movie and season 22 when they get here, but for now, it's different, and I don't know how to really feel, but basically, throughout the whole last year with the Thomas community changing and all that, it's been kind of difficult for me to really talk about Thomas without getting into such heavy negotiations about the constant changes that's going on with Mattel, affecting the series and stuff. But I'm gonna give it a chance. I don't think it'll be that great, but I'm not gonna call it trash until I see it. And now we go into the individual questions. Those were just the two questions that got asked constantly. Alistair Swine asks, if you were to stick in a new character, do you think it should be another boat like a master ship? I think that'd be pretty great because we haven't really got a whole lot of boat characters within Thomas. I mean, we got Bulstrode, who's a barge, and then Captain, who we don't really see a whole lot. He's barely used now. But it would be interesting to have another boat character. I say when we get into Big World, Big Adventures, there might be a boat character probably. I'm just spectating at this point, but it will be interesting. Do you think they have overdone it with all the cranes? I don't think so. I mean, we all know Frankie, you know. Carly, I think, makes a fun addition, you know, a younger but more active and much more peppier Crane to combat with Frankie. I think that makes good chemistry in terms of their personalities. Although with Big Mickey, that just seems kind of, I'll get into that in a later question in the video, but I don't think it's not overdone because there's a lot of harbors out there that have so many cranes, and a lot of them are back to back, which makes sense because if you're in a big harbor and you have so many different containers going on, you have to have enough cranes to supply to all the ships. So I don't think it's overdone. I think it's just, you know, just adding in some more, I'm trying to think, more busyness into Brandon Docks. Plus, just face it, with Frankie doing so much, it helps to have Carly, and now with Big Mickey, and we'll have some interesting story ideas, hopefully. We'll just have to see what happens. Do you want to see Mountain Engines get made into 4 episodes? I would love to see the Mountain Engines in the television series. I personally would like to see an introduction through like a television special, but I say with Big World Big Adventures, we won't see them in the series until maybe season 23, depending on if this is gonna be the way the show's gonna be, or after this they're just gonna go back into the whole original Thomas formula. I'm not really sure. There wasn't much detail about that, but I would like to see the Mountain Engines in the series because they done the small railway engines, Mike, Rex, and Bud, so well. I love seeing them whenever they're in an episode, and I love the episodes they were in season 20. I also loved how they included Glen in, so they're doing a fantastic job of incorporating more of the other books and railway series characters that were not in the original television series and putting them in the television series. Personally, if it was me, I would rather them be introduced in a new special rather than 4 different episodes, but we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. Liga Tamer 100 asks, what are your thoughts on the trailer for Ready Player One? I actually have read the book and I love the book. It's fantastic. The trailer, because you know when you read a book, it's different than what you're gonna see like adapted to TV, movie, or even video games or anything. That's kind of because my mind didn't think of so much more flashier details going on within the trailer, but it looks good. I actually have a good friend of mine that I used to work with who's now in another store, but still business, same company that I work with. He loves Ready Player One, so he's a bit more critical. I say he'll be a bit more critical when the movie comes out. Because again, it's like with me, big adventures. He's waiting till he sees it before he gives his final opinion. So I'm definitely excited for the movie. Although personally, I loved the Ernest Cline's second book, Armada, a bit more. Ready Player One had so much more references and stuff in, and a lot of it that I get, but there were a few things that I was like, wait, what's that show? Stuff like that. But with Armada, there was a lot of stuff that I instantly got, and it was a lot more simpler story. But I do enjoy Ready Player One, and I'm excited for the movie. Which Season 5 episode has always been your favorite? This one's a tough one because Season 5 is one of my personal favorite seasons. Of course, A Better View for Gordon is a classic. Cranky for Bugs. Make Someone Happy is another good one. It's really hard to choose. I think A Better View for Gordon is one of my favorite episodes. Not because it's one of my favorite Thomas comedies, but the actual episode itself I really enjoyed. What do you collect for your collections? Video games, that's one. I just love collecting games, especially games that I know I'm going to be playing throughout my entire life, and games I'll eventually play. Though I have been thinking about doing some complete collections, like obviously I'm doing a whole complete amiibo set because I love those little figurines, even though they are kind of like the whole loot box DLC kind of thing, but I still love collecting those figurines. If they were out when I was younger, I would be even more chaotic for them. I've been wanting to do like a complete N64 collection probably because that's one of my favorite consoles and it's not that hard to get. And probably a complete Super Mario game collection because I love Super Mario. Again, pretty much doing like a whole complete set, but that's not really my whole attention. Like, I think you should do a complete set if you really love it. Since I love Nintendo, Mario, and Amiibos, I figured those would be nice complete sets. Probably doing a complete get all Neptuna games, which there isn't a whole lot I've been wanting to play for the games, so that's gonna be one. And I've always been wanting to do a complete Paradise. I don't know how to pronounce the company, but they're the ones that produce those really awesome Muppet Show figurines. I've been debating on doing a complete set of getting all those figurines because they're so cool, but some of them are a bit hard to find and a bit more expensive since they've been out of production for 10 plus years now, and a lot of it's been exclusive to like the fan club of that company or stuff that was sold at conventions and so forth. But there's some stuff that I would like to collect or make a complete collection, but right now I'm just collecting games that I know I'm going to play sometime in my life, games that I will enjoy and love or want to give a try. Which live-action Disney remake do you like the most? My personal favorite is Cinderella. Maleficent was okay. Beauty and the Beast was good, even though it was a lot of repeating. Jungle Book I was surprised by, even though I was sad that the elephants did not speak at all. I'm still mad by that, but Cinderella is one of my favorite live-action remakes that they've done because they actually improved it. Because I still love the animated feature, but there was so much stuff that they did differently, like having the prince have the prince be a person instead of just like yawn and just do nothing at all. Have him given a personality and stuff, and it was just a really good film overall. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't checked out the live-action Cinderella movie, I recommend it. It is really good, trust me. KatieFan1 asks, what characters do you wish could return to the series? It depends on what they can really do with the characters because there are so many characters in the show that it's getting hard to keep track now. In fact, even little kids, I've noticed that there's been some complaints of some parents saying that the children are watching the series and they see this character who the others, like Thomas and the others, are become well acquainted, but pretty much with so many characters, I can understand little kids getting hard to keep track on. But if I really have to choose which characters that I would like to see come back, regardless if they will be used well in the story or not, I'm just gonna try to lay down the 3 characters. Instantly, I would like to see Murdoch come back because Murdoch is one of my favorite characters. He looks cool. I love how he's this big engine but is shy and stuff. I think it works really well. I would like to see Duke come back because he's one of those characters that we haven't seen in eons, practically since season 4. I know some people would count season 7, but that was stock footage, so I don't count that. But I would love to see Duke return because just to see how he will react to Sir Robert Normandy, who would be his Grace technically. I would love to see the chemistry between those two. And then one more, hard for me to choose, but I'm just probably gonna say Boko, just so that way I could just stop using the whole Boko is dead joke. Okay, I forgot to ask this question when I was recording. I do apologize, but Katie Fan 1 also asked, what would you do if you were part of the Thomas writing staff? I'm not exactly like, I mean sure, I make good parody scripts for Thomas, but as a Thomas writer, I wrote like one original Thomas story which you can still find on DeviantArt, which Scruff is looking for a truck that has a bunch of Easter eggs on it. It's not that bad of a story. It's kind of dated a little bit, but I'll post the link in the description so you could check it out. But if I was part of Thomas' writing staff, I guess it would have to depend like how they usually go about writing the script or what the process is, because you gotta keep in mind they don't have every single character and location transferred into CGI yet, so of course you're limited to a few things even though they have a bunch of characters and locations to work with. But it'd be kind of difficult to really think of what episodes I can write. To be fair, I wouldn't mind writing a lot more episodes regarding the Osdale engines, because since now we got them in the television series, there's a lot more story opportunities. In terms of like maybe like adapting stories from the Railway Series books, I think that's just up to Andrew Brenner, since well he's the head writer obviously. But if I was part of Thomas' writing staff, a lot of the stories were probably based on the Osdale Railway engines. My good friend and fellow video maker The Doctor asked, what are your top 3 superhero films? It's kind of hard for me to choose because, not saying I don't hate them, but I am getting a bit burned out with the whole comic book adaptations a bit. Not saying they're bad, because some are good, but you get kind of old. It's like, oh, Avengers Infinity War. Okay. I'm just not like the biggest Marvel DC person compared to any of my other friends. Especially one of my friends who I work with, he's a huge Superman fan. But my top 3 favorite superhero movies, Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool, and then The Dark Knight. But then again, those are the ones I can instantly think to my head. There's not really a superhero film that I disliked or was hated. But again, I'm not a big superhero person or anything. But I do enjoy the movies. I just haven't really watched any recent Marvel or DC films. Even though I heard that the new Wonder Woman is fantastic. What are your thoughts on Miss Oliver and Blossom's Tomy TNF video? Yes, that old video that's been delayed so many times and we eventually got it unfinished. If you don't know, this was a crossover project between 2 YouTubers who don't make Thomas content now, but that do their own thing, which is good. But they were planning on doing a video that was going to be a combination of the series, but it never happened because life got in the way, college, not really getting into Thomas and Friends that much, seeking out other opportunities, which they've been doing really good, which I'm happy for them. But last year, they released it, but it's a 1 hour and 30 minute unfinished film, so I'm not sure how long it could be, but from what I saw, it looked good, even though you could definitely tell the age of the video, like that whole 2011, 2012 vibe, you know, where they used so many, or recycled so many jokes from like television shows, cartoons and so forth. Just, you could definitely just feel that nostalgia. I call it nostalgia because I grew up watching that stuff. Nostalgic vibe of Thomas content from back then. So it was a nice little nostalgic trip. But it definitely doesn't hold up that well. But it's not horrible by any means. What movie are you excited for in 2018? I'm excited for Isle of Dogs. It's a Wes Anderson movie because even though he's a great director, one of my favorite animated films that he's done is Fantastic Mr. Fox. If you have not watched it, I beg of you, go watch Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's an amazing movie. So to see him do another stop motion film, I'm really eager to see how that goes. I'm also excited for Ready Player One, which we knew. And I think, I forgot, is Rampage coming out next year? It's based on the arcade games Rampage. I'm just intrigued to see how well that turns out. And of course, Early Man. It's an Armin animation film. I love Armin, who doesn't, so I'm excited for that. What is your favorite color? Blue. Oh! Actually, it's green. Green, like my favorite, one of my favorite Mario characters. Plunderbird, another Thomas Comedies cast member. In the Nostalgia Critic episode, where it's all about Disney afternoon shows, out of all the shows featured on it, which one is your favorite? Obviously, it's gonna be DuckTales, because it's a classic, not just because of the theme song, but because the show itself is good. But I also loved the Timon and Pumbaa, because that one I watched it a whole lot. Although the strange thing is, he didn't mention the other Disney afternoon shows, or like other shows that I remember that came out, like the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and Little Mermaid. Those were TV shows, but I don't remember if they were part of Disney Afternoon or not. I'm just surprised he didn't really mention them, but then again, he didn't want to talk about Hercules, but that was like 1998, 99 when that came out. I can't remember. I know it was pretty related. I think it was around the same time when Crack Pack and the Mighty Ducks came about. I can't remember, but still, if I had to choose which one, it would be a tie between Timon and Pumbaa and DuckTales because I love both of those shows a lot. How did you react to the appearance of Bit Mickey on New Crane on the Dock and Baldy on Unscheduled Stops? Okay, this one's gonna be kind of mixed, and I know some people might kind of look at me like, what's wrong with you? But before I get to Bit Mickey, Baldy was out of nowhere. It was like one of those surprises that was not spoiled for once, and I was kind of confused to see Baldy in his original livery as well as his original personality back, but it was a great surprise. Even if it was like gonna be the last surprise return character for a while, I was happy, but again, it just seemed kind of odd because, you know, he was a vegetable bus and, you know, not being as hateful, but I don't know, maybe they can make like a little backstory episode that makes someone want to go back. I'm not sure. As for Bit Mickey, this one's gonna tick off some people, but I was so lost by it. I mean, it's great to see them acknowledge Bit Mickey, but at the same time, his reveal seemed forced. Like, if they had an episode where Percy and Thomas keep looking at Crane, or see the behind Bit Mickey and wonder, does that Crane have a face? Can he speak at all? And just, you know, kind of like see if he could speak at all, and then in the next episode he shows himself, then yeah, that'd be great. But for him to all of a sudden just say, don't forget me, and, you know, just kind of forcefully saying, hey, Bit Mickey's here, you know, just, it felt too fan surfacey, I guess. I mean, I'm happy that we got a Tug's character officially in the show, but it just seems so out of place and forced. Have they kind of like, you know, naturally mention like, I wonder if does that Crane have a face? You know, kind of like try to think if the Crane speaks or not. I think that would have been better to just forcefully have Bit Mickey just speak out of nowhere with no context or anything. It just seems kind of forced. So again, I know some people gotta hate, but that's just me. Do you have a favorite UK or US sitcom? For US, actually me and my brother has been rewatching Seinfeld. He has the... Heck, I could just bring it over here. My brother and I have been, lately since we started moving in here, we've been watching Seinfeld. This is the complete series that has all 9 seasons and a coffee table book about coffee tables. And it's over there. But yeah, we've been watching that, and it's I remember watching it when I was young, but I didn't get a whole lot of the jokes. But now that I'm older and wiser, and now watching this, I'm getting a lot of the humor now, and it's really funny. I love the series so much, and yeah, that's probably my favorite US sitcom. UK sitcom, however, I'm just gonna go with Young Ones because that's still hilarious. Even if it's only 12 episodes, I still think it's a hilarious sitcom. Do you have a favorite Sesame Street character? Probably Grover, because I love how angelic he is and just how happy he is throughout. I never really seen Grover mad or sad or anyway. He's just always so peppy and upbeat, and I always like characters that are, you know, happy and can overlook the badness of stuff. Leon Engine asks, how are you doing today? I'm doing good. I got off work like, what was it been, like 3 hours ago, and now recording, and it's been a good week so far. Though granted, this will be released probably a week later, but I've been feeling great. What languages can you speak? English. Have you seen Theodore Tugboat? Yes, I actually grew up having several of the VHS tapes, and I love the series. I've been tempted in making a Theodore Tugboat parody maybe, but I haven't decided yet, but I do love the series. I haven't watched every single episode. I know all of them are up on YouTube, I think so. But I still love the show. I have a little nostalgic value because I had a lot of the other figures, and I also have some of the Briar wooden Theodore Tugboat where like the hat on the models can actually move their eyes left to right, which I think is really cool. But I love Theodore Tugboat. I wouldn't mind actually doing a whole retrospective on that probably, or like do a demo show episode. What's the meaning of life? It depends how you view it, because mine, again, not trying to be, don't take this seriously, but mine is trying to get close to God, you know, trying to be, you know, trying to live for Him, trying to be a good person, and having fun time with my friends. Yes, life can be difficult and there's a lot of bad stuff out there, but I try to avoid that as much as possible, focus on the good things, and I'm thankful for each day. And life is about just having fun, enjoying your friends and family, and living to serve the Lord. But that's just me. It can mean anything to anyone. It's about your perspective. Stefan Monhoney 22 Extras, sorry if I butchered that, asks, do you watch other TV shows other than Thomas? I actually watch a lot of shows. I haven't really watched a whole lot of Thomas lately, even though I am planning on rewatching the whole series just because I want to. But here's the other shows and animes that I watch. Not counting shows that I watch on YouTube or anything, but the shows, just strictly TV shows that I watch. Montague asks, what is your least favorite episode from Thomas and Friends? That's a tough one because, not saying I have a whole list of bad episodes, but it's hard to remember them. Because I think the worst episodes, in my opinion, are the ones that don't leave a mark. Like, sure, there are some bad episodes that may have a bad moment and thing, like, say, Rocky, like the Edward to the Rescue with Rocky's introduction, but that's because the episode's bad because of Edward's character being misplaced. But in my opinion, an episode is bad if it doesn't leave a mark, and that's why I think if an episode's forgettable, that's bad. And I can't think of any bad episodes, but then again, I'm in a peppy mood, so I can't think of any bad episodes at the moment. Who are your favorite non-Thomas YouTube users? You just asked the most impossible question ever. There's too many to count, but I'm gonna go ahead and mention the ones that I've been watching a whole lot just lately. Like, I love SMG4, his videos are hilarious. Gaming Historian, because his videos are very well documented and entertaining, and he explains a whole lot about video game history and stuff. Metal Jesus rocks. Yes, a little bit blasphemy, but he's actually a really cool dude. I love his game collection videos. And if you watch my little Thomas Meets videos, I love those YouTubers as well. Well, minus PewDiePie, Aussie Man Reviews. Not saying I don't hate them, but I don't watch their content as much. But yeah, that's just a few. Again, I have a bunch of lists, but it's hard for me really to mention every single YouTuber that I watch because I might accidentally leave out a few by accident because there's too many. What do you do at Tug's Comedies? This is something that someone mentioned to me doing once. I think my friend Thomas Fan 101 mentioned it possibly. I haven't decided yet. I mean, we're doing good with the Fair Funny spin-off, but if we do like another spin-off of Thomas Comedies, I'm not sure. We will have to take it in another direction to make it, you know, stand out a bit more than Fair Funnies and Thomas Comedies. What happened to question 4? Wait. I saw what you did there. Joseph Marison asks, what do you think of Super Mario Odyssey? I did a Delmar Show episode dedicated, so if you want to get my full detailed thoughts, you can click in the description or wherever the video will be at. I absolutely love the game. I'm still debating whether or not I love it more than Super Mario 64 or Super Mario Galaxy 2, but it's like, it's in my top 3 for sure, just don't know where. It's a great game, one of my favorite Mario games ever, just tied with those two. Favorite Thomas film? Tale of the Brave, because I loved the theme of, you know, trying to be brave, but brave has to come from you instead of trying to be like, oh, strong and mighty, you know. Like, I loved Gator's quote where he said, you know, being scared, being afraid is, being brave is not the same as being scared. It's about being brave even when you do feel scared, and I just love that theme, and I love the whole progression of Percy's character arc through it. Also, this special gave birth to Marion, who's one of the best female characters in Thomas and Friends, and it's just a really good special. I really loved it, and I think it's one of the specials that I think focused a lot, did a lot more focusing, because I will admit, King of the Railway had some moments where it got left on track with so many different storylines going on, but Tale of the Brave I think did a much better job of focusing, and I think it does a pretty bang up job of doing it, sharing the story more, and I just really love the film of its themes, and the writing itself is brilliant, and it's just one of my favorite films that I can easily rewatch over and over again. Favorite Thomas character? You know, that's kind of a rough question. It has to be that one engine I voice, the green tender engine who has to flee on the tender. I think his name was, Big City Engine. Christopher O'Shea asks, wow, another Q&A? Yep. Have you seen other railway-related series, such as the British Railway series, Cross the Lines, and Jimmy the Genty? I've seen the British Railway series. I watched a few episodes. That was good. Genty the Genty, I remember seeing one episode. I can't remember, but I did watch it. But they were good. What favorite episodes of each good season of Thomas and Friends? Okay, I know this is gonna be kind of specific, but yeah, I'll try that, even though I know seasons 8 through 16, I actually like the seasons 8 through 12, but I know that some people can't, so I'll exclude those. But, I'll try my best to remember. Season 1, The Flying Kip, Season 2, the Duck and Diesel trilogy. I know it's technically 3 episodes, but I love all 3 episodes, plus the book is one of my favorite Railway series books. Then Season 3, James Goes Buzz Buzz. Season 4, Four Little Engines. Season 5, A Better View for Goldem. Season 6, Percy's Chocolate Crunch. Season 7 is Best Dressed Engine. Season 17, holy crap, I just realized that's 10 seasons from each of... Whatever. Season 17 is Percy's Lucky Day. Season 18 is Duncan and the Grumpy Passenger. Season 19 is Lost Property. Season 20 is Henry Gets the Express. And for Season 21, it is... What was it again? PA Problems. Probably walking on eggshells with this question. Thoughts on Phoebus and Ferb? I've not seen it. I'm sorry, but I've seen the somewhat spin-off, even though it's by the same team, Milo Murphy's Law. I have watched a few episodes of that, and I actually really enjoyed it. It's been a while since I watched it because I was gonna wait till they have more episodes, but I really did enjoy that show, so I'll probably watch Phoebus and Ferb with that probably. Jilly Toy Productions Official asks, what is your favorite Disney movie of 2016? It's really hard because there were 4 great Disney movies: Moana, Zootopia, Rogue One, and the BFG. Difficult to choose, but I think I'm gonna go with Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, because I definitely liked that a whole lot, because I do like all the characters in it and how they were trying to steal the Death Star plans, and the action is great. It's all around a great Star Wars movie. I've not seen The Last Jedi yet, no spoilers, or I will do something very mean to you. I'm not really sure. I guess I can hide a comment, but I will have to read it first, so it would not work well for me. What are your honest thoughts on the Disney Channel shows Girl Meets World, Liv and Maddie, Lindsay McGuire, and Phil to the Future? I don't remember much any of them. I did watch little of Lizzie McGuire and then a little bit of Phil to the Future. I think I watched a bit more than Lizzie, but I can't remember much of those shows because it's been so long. As for Girl Meets World and Liv and Maddie, I've don't think I've ever heard of those two. I hope you don't think I'm noobish asking this, but would you like to check out my channel? Okay, I'm gonna be honest here, I don't really have a whole lot of time now as I used to looking for channels and stuff. Sure, I discovered a few channels last year like SMG4, but that was because of an accidental concerning offense, I guess. Like in my suggestions, I saw Mario Gets a Switch. That was my very first video of SMG4 I watched, and this was around the time the Nintendo Switch was coming out. In terms of like discovering like new Thomas fan-made channels, I have not really watched any at all. Aside from like watching some of my friends whenever they upload, or even Enterprising Engines 93, Diesel D199, I watch some of his stuff time to time. But I don't really have a whole lot of time now to watch a whole lot of new Thomas community related YouTube channels. But I might check it out, send you a message of how I feel about it and all that stuff. And it is a little noobish, but yes, face it, we're all guilty of that. You know, I mean, I'm guilty of like commenting on Miss Alva Blossom's channel when I first started, saying, "Hi everybody, come check me out." So it's just part of being a YouTuber. You're gonna have those noobish mistakes, so it's fine. What do you think of the sad events that happened this year? The Las Vegas shooting and the passing of Jerry Lewis. I don't watch the news at all. Yes, I watch news regard to like say what's going on with the video game industry or movies, but in terms of like actual news, like anything political or any social events, stuff like that, I don't watch it at all because I watched it during my high school and it made me depressed, and there was barely any good news, anything like any good news at all. They just did not post it. I haven't watched any news now, but I just don't, because I want to focus what's going on in my life. Like anything like work, my friends, anything like that, I just focus on me, not focusing on so much. And I do pray for, you know, all the people. Like when I heard the Los Angeles shooting, because everyone was talking about work, it broke my heart hearing about that. And also the passing of Jerry Lewis, because he's such a great comedian and talented person. And it's sad to see stuff like that happen, but all we can do is just pray and just help those who were majorly affected during these sad times. But also try not to focus so much on the sadness and grief, but just be thankful that even though there were people that lost their lives, that they were still able to survive an event like that. And it's just, I don't really like talk about this stuff because, as you can probably tell, I just don't feel comfortable talking about stuff like that. But I do feel bad whenever stuff like that happens, and I do pray whenever I hear that stuff, and hoping to pray for like the families that lost their loved ones during that, and hoping that they're okay and all that. Okay, this is my favorite comment from both the YouTube user's name and the question itself. Hey man, do you want a cookie? Hand it over. Madelone Farms, what was your favorite part of my episode Max's Evil Plan? You know, the remake of one of your videos that I did. For those who don't know, Madelone Farms, I butchered that up, but Madelone Farms, he took my Thomas Comedies, The Thickest Crest for a Seaside Trip, and turned it into, like, reimagined it into one of his own videos, which is a lot more original, and I think it's a really good video. Granted, I felt honored inspiring someone to take something that I did, which took forever to make, and turn it into something completely new and original. And it's just incredible to see people being inspired by others, taking the concept and kind of twisting it into their own, into something original, and I really did like it. In terms of what my favorite part, that's a tough one. It really is. I love the whole thing. I didn't dislike any part of it. You did a good job. You did. Keep it up. Ackley Attack TV asks, what do you like the most when you're making one episode of Thomas Comedies? Keep in mind, it's been forever since I wrote an episode. It really has, because we're working on a project that I'm going to keep hush because it's been mentioned too much to death. But I always loved the writing part of it, mostly. I loved writing it and then seeing that script coming to fruition, seeing it being built up with the voiceovers, and then editing it with the pictures, and then just seeing the final project of just seeing the script being turned into the video, that's always my favorite part, is just writing the episode itself. And when season 2 happens, hopefully soon, we're gonna write a lot better episodes. I've been thinking of a lot of great episodes. It's just now getting that inspiration back once Magic Railroad comes out. Aside from Hyperdimension Neptuna, are there any other anime related video games, animated related movies that you always wanted to check out for the longest time? This is kind of an odd one because I'm trying to get back into watching more anime, but it's kind of hard to nowadays because there's so many animes, and it's a lot of times gamble. You either take your time watching this 50 episode series or you take time watching this 12 episode series. It could be a gamble, but there's not really anime that I'm focusing now that I really want to watch, although there's one anime film that I've been wanting to watch called The Silent Voice, which a lot of people say if you love Your Name, you're gonna love it, and I love the concept of this movie, and I'm hoping to watch it sometime, well, considering this will be released next week, I'm hopefully be able to watch it soon because it just sounds so great, and I loved Your Name. In terms of like any anime shows, I can't really think of any I really want to watch, because again, it's hard to try to figure out which show you would like the most. But anime related video games, it's kind of hard to, because there's not really none at the moment that I will probably want to. I heard Fate XL, it was a game on the Nintendo Switch that came out last year. I've heard that game's good. It's kind of like a Dynasty Warriors game. It looks interesting, so I might try that out. Ever since you did your MTech video you did on the Delmar show, would you love to go other cons coming up that you've always wanted to go? I am wanting to go to more conventions. I had such a great time with MTech. That's like one of the best moments of 2017. It really was. I loved it. But there's a convention I am planning on going to, but we don't know what day or days that is. We're still like in the early stages, but I am excited to go to that convention. But I want to go to more, hopefully more each year, but due to budget reasons, it's gonna be more of a one-time thing each year. Are there any other video genres on YouTube that you wanted to try out other than the ones you're doing, such as parodies, reviews, and Let's Plays? Well, the Let's Plays one, Delmar show is kind of kindly canceled because every time me and my friend Tommy are together, we just want to hang out. We don't want to record, we just want to hang out and all that because we don't see each other that much. Though we might still do like a Let's Play type thing on the Delmar show, I'm not sure. It's just one of those wait and sees. I've been wanting to do an anime dub, and I'm slowly getting one together. It's not an abridged series, it's more like a whole reimagining, I guess you could say. I'm not gonna get into spoiler territory, but I've been wanting to try to do something like that. Austin Anthony asks, what is your opinion on Journey Beyond Sodor? I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it because I do have a Delmar show episode coming up that I'm going to do a review, which is actually the 50th episode, which I'm excited to just do the whole basics. I liked it. It's not one of the best of the Thomas specials, but I personally enjoyed it. Yeah, I know it had the whole, you know what, stop calling it bouncing. Okay, I know people like calling it bouncing, but it's stupid. Yes, call it body language, because yeah, that's what it is, just the engine's body language, you know, where they're moving a bit of stuff. I actually didn't mind it. I mean, it's odd at first, but I think it works decently enough. I think it works well. Just I hope they just put it more instead of just being one of those like move here and then a few more minutes they stand still, then a few seconds they're moving, you know, body languaging, and then next they're just staying still, you know, be more stop being so inconsistent with the animation. But I'm all for it. It's not that bad, but the whole movie itself is good. I liked it. Hurricane or Frankie? I liked it Hurricane because unlike Frankie, he was at least trying to be more of a friend to Thomas, and he was entertaining. I liked him. Frankie was just kind of a jerk throughout, and her last scene where she was crying is a bit cringe-worthy bit. No offense to the voice actress. I just think the ending part where they where they accept Frankie and Hurricane's apology, it just seemed, it was a weak ending, I will admit. I wish they would have done the ending a little bit more, but that's just me personally. But I liked the Hurricane a bit more than Frankie. Okay, I apologize for butchering your name here. Joseph Cavangano, I'm hoping that's correct, even though I know it's wrong, ask Theo or Glen? I liked the Glen. I mean, he's a coffee pot engine. I loved his personality. I love his little banner with him and Steven. I think he's a great character overall. Theo is good, but he didn't really get a whole lot of development time. Although I do like how he's a bit shy and stuttering a bit, and I like his design a bit. Have you played A Hat in Time? If so, then do you think one of the characters in the game sounds like Frankie from Journey Beyond Sodor? I've not played it yet, and I wouldn't doubt that one of the characters sound like Frankie probably. I know it's on Steam, PS4, and Xbox One, I think it was. I can't remember. I have not played it, but I'm wanting to because I've heard a lot of great things about it. And it's also 3D platformers. That's like my jam. I love 3D platformers in general. Why is the sexy voice line narrator's voice so sexy? I don't know. I don't know, sir. I really don't know. The Overdoing Engine asks, favorite Thomas comedy you made? I still stand by it every time. A Better View for Goldum. I still think is a great video. I might. Would you all be up for possibly remakes of some of my Thomas comedies, you know? Like, I'm not gonna delete the original videos, they'll still stay, but like, if I remake my old Thomas comedies a bit, would you all be up for that? I mean, I probably wouldn't change it too much with A Better View for Goldum, but in my opinion, that's like my favorite Thomas comedy and one of my favorite videos I've made ever, in my opinion. Best episode of season 21. That will have to go to PA Problems, because that episode was pretty hilarious itself. I also love how it kind of tackled on an episode about the PA system. It is kind of hard because there's some other good episodes I love. Like, I loved Most Singular Engine, you know, with Daisy and Harvey. Dowager Hat's Busy Day was the most hilarious episode ever. It's really hard, but I personally remember PA Problems is like the first episode that clicks to my mind when I think of season 21. I liked it, and I loved how Edward had a role in it. Opinions on the Miller era. Well, I'm just gonna say this. Sharon Miller is a good person because she's a great voice director. I'm sure she's a great person in real life. But I didn't really care much for her episode writing. Like, I know they were kind of strict with the whole 3 strikes you're out story. You know, they were kind of stuck with that due to, you know, corporate and stuff. But the episodes, like, not all the episodes were bad. There were some good ones, but during the Miller era, especially seasons 13 for 16 were kind of rough. They weren't exactly that great. And I'm not blaming anyone, because I know sometimes when you make an episode, sometimes you have to listen to guidelines like you have to make an episode based on this formula, or guidelines saying like because you have to make these episodes a year, they have to be out yearly, not every episode is going to be a hit. But it's not the best writing episodes. Like, the stories themselves weren't that great. But again, Sharon Miller, she's a great voice director, and she's like a great person in real life, but in terms of being a writer, she's hit or miss. I mean, I love The Great Discovery. There's a few episodes she wrote in like seasons 10 through 12 that I liked, but throughout seasons 13 through 16, I didn't care much for some of those episodes. Favorite Thomas and non-Thomas YouTubers. Okay, I know I goofed that one up. I had them organized by most questions, but non-YouTubers, I answered that earlier, but favorite Thomas users. Again, I don't watch a whole lot of Thomas users anymore. Mostly like my friends that I put in my videos, I watch their videos a bit. And then for like, but my favorite Thomas YouTuber, that's gonna be kind of hard. I really loved Enterprise and Engines 93. His stories are excellent and is an all-around swell guy. I also forgot to mention Sidekick Jason. I actually been watching his videos a little bit, and he's a really good Thomas video maker as well. I do like his content. John, the TV show fan 1001 asks, have you seen series 21 of Thomas and Friends? I watched all the episodes and I do like it, but I have noticed a few things. Like, of course, the engine's body language, we know obviously, but I've noticed of how the episodes are trying to have a lot more constant speed. Like, they're going one, like, you know how the previous shows, all the stories are told in this nice slow pace, you know, with like not so much stuff going on. Here with the animation, there's so much more stuff going on with the animation. The stories are not, seem like they're in a faster pace a little bit. Like, I noticed there's a lot more faster pacing and more stuff going on the screen than some of the previous shows. And I mean, I guess it's kind of tying in with the Big World's Big Adventures, obviously, which I have to admit, it seemed kind of weird for them to cut the last 8 episodes, because there were going to be 26 like always, but they canceled the other 8 to focus on Big World Big Adventures, which is understandable, though there are some things like, I know one of the episodes might have been based on Rosie, because they were going to try to rebrand her character, you know, try to have her more personality than she did previously. And then there's one episode I'm curious, because we know Edward and Henry aren't going to live at Timber Sheds, so what's going to happen with Henry? Because we never really had that explained. I'm sure they might explain it a bit in Big World Big Adventures, but would one of the episodes focus on like Henry leaving Timber Sheds, living in like Nafford or something? Or would one of the episodes introduce Nia or Rebecca or something? There wasn't like a whole lot of stuff they explained, and I'm hoping is explained in the movie that's supposed to lead up to Big World Big Adventures, but we'll just have to wait and see. But Series 21 I did like, although I did like Season 20 a bit more, but that's because they did a whole lot more stuff in it. Will you check out my Thomas series, John's TWR Customs? I'll try my best, but at the same time it's going to be kind of hard, because again, there's so much stuff going on in my life. Not bad problems, oh good indeed, but there's just so much stuff that's keeping me busy to watch so much stuff on YouTube and all. Like, I'm going to be honest, there's some YouTubers in my subscription like Game Grumps, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, and much as I love those guys, I don't watch any of the videos because I just don't have time to watch Let's Play videos. I know these aren't Let's Plays, don't worry, I know, but yeah, I just gotta get to, just try to get to watch it, hopefully. And the last question is, what was your reaction when Terrence returned to CGI? I was excited. I know a lot of people were like, for some reason there was a huge outcry of people saying, Terrence's face is too big, he's not as Terrence, he looked odd. Like, his CG render with his face was odd, even though I have no problem with it. But then again, I try not to be as nitpicky as some people are, not trying to point at anybody, but I thought the face looked fine, and I think they did an excellent job with him in the series. And I liked it how they did tell his first episode, you know, to younger viewers who wouldn't know. I think that helps a little bit, especially because, again, the parents are complaining that the kids are getting confused with so many characters and so on. But although the voice, as much as I love the voice actor who does Duncan and Rex, I think that he could have done a bit more of a country-like accent for Terrence, or because his voice was a bit too similar to Rex. I don't know if he just doesn't have much flexibility with his voice, but probably done a little bit more different voice, or get someone else to do Terrence. But he did fine. I'm not gonna complain, because again, I love that voice actor who does Rex and Duncan. He's excellent. And that is my 4th annual Q&A video. Not as long as last year. Last year's was super long. It was 3 parts, but that was so much fun just being on Skype with my good YouTube friends. That was amazing. But I thank everyone who has posted a question for this 4th annual Q&A. I hope these answers your questions. I know there are some I got a bit too personal, or some I probably didn't really answer properly, or stuff like that, but hopefully this will answer your questions. And don't you worry, there'll be more stuff coming here soon. Like, again, the Magic Rail redub, we're hoping to get done this year. Is one of those wait and sees. I'm not gonna guarantee it. And hopefully I'll get some more projects on this channel, because I've been doing a lot. In fact, last year I uploaded a lot more videos than I have ever, but I know I haven't done much on this channel. My main one, Mullen Studios, which you should check out, plug. But I am gonna try to focus on getting more videos on this channel here, because I don't want people to think, oh, he's forgotten about this channel already. No, it's hard to ignore the 2,500 people or whatever the subscriber count I have now. I mean, it's insane to think that I have so many people subscribed to this channel. And even though I canceled the Thomas Meets series, I still get people requesting me to do Thomas Meets, Game Grumps, Thomas and Friends Meets, whatever. I still get suggestions, which is insane, but we'll have to wait and see. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you look out for some more videos coming soon, and I hope this answers all y'all's questions. So take care, God bless yous, and I'll speak to you on the next video. Bye bye!